feel like I need to roll my sleeves up because I've been organizing this video for like a week now. I have a full book of ideas and like tips I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. Things are about to get inspiring. Honestly, designing and styling my own home has been one of the most enjoyable processes I've ever undertaken. So I have curated my top 10 tips to elevate your own home and style it up so it reflects your personality. So obviously this is just a super lighthearted video. If you don't want to take any of these tips, totally fine. But these tips are just what I implemented in my own home. So here's a quick little overview of what my home looks like, which kind of leads us to our first tip, which is the feeling focus. So essentially when you open up your own front door, how do you want to feel? When visitors come over, what do you want the first feeling for them to experience? Is it, wow, this is such a moody house? Is it creative, uplifting, fun, quirky, fresh, cozy? There are so many different feelings that a home and a space can evoke. So for our home, we wanted fresh, uplifting, and fun. Fresh in a sense that we did use a lot of vivid white paint that just kind of gave us that blank canvas, that fresh white feeling. But then the quirky, uplifting, fun element was the colors and the checkers and the different patterns and even the shapes we used in the candles. I just wanted a little bit of uniqueness, and when people walk into my home, for them to feel like it's fun. So ask yourself, when you open your front doors, what do you want to feel? Tip number 2 may be a little bit controversial, but is don't fall into the timeless trap. I have done this with certain parts of my house and I regret it. And this is what we're going to get into. Everyone kind of has that self-narrative where we think, I'm going to pick this because it's timeless. I'm never going to get over white tiles. They're timeless. However, in my own experience, when I pick timeless items, they're boring. Like, it's forgettable, it's not unique, and it's actually not very reflective of my personality. If that timeless piece somehow coincides or reflects my exact style, fine. But I really regret not going more bold in certain parts of my house. If you know your style, it's not likely to change very quickly. We were so close to getting this couch, what we have in pink. We were so close to getting it in this eggshell color. Instead, we got the eggshell for our room because our room is that more neutral, calm space. And we wanted our main living area to be fun and to be quirky. Everyone told me I was gonna regret getting the pink. It's not timeless. No, it is not timeless, but we've had it now for 3 years and I love it. I love that we did pink tiles. I love that we did a pink sink. I really regret not going more bold in my upstairs bathrooms, which are just like plain white, because they're forgettable. Everything's expensive, and for me, if I'm gonna start from scratch, I don't wanna do something forgettable. So yeah, it's this fine balance of purchasing things that you're gonna have for a really long time, but aren't just boring and timeless. I hope that doesn't ruffle too many feathers. I mean it in a good way, just like trust your gut. That's what I'm trying to say, is just if you love something, get it, and don't be scared if it's not timeless, because if it's you, you will love it. Tip number 3 is making purposeful, unique statements. And by this, I mean focusing on those everyday, mundane objects like placemats, spoons, bowls, candles, instead of just filling your house with things that like fit your color palette, like a white bowl and white spoons. Make it a statement. P.S. Side note, there is a hectic storm, so sorry if the audio is bad, but like I'm doing my best, okay? Anyway, back to our purposeful pieces. In terms of like my placemats, I get so many questions where I get my placemats because it's something we use every single night. They're always out on the dining table. We just like leave them out. When we moved in here, I didn't go on a huge shopping spree and buy everything. I slowly accumulated my pieces. And I think you learn a lot of this as you move. And when we first moved out into our first apartment, we just kind of went rogue and bought everything at once. But with this house, I was much slower. Pretty much every purchase is a unique statement and fits in the home. It's like this art puzzle, and it all works together to create a beautiful artwork. I have taken it upon myself to style our plinth. Whenever I say that, people are like, what the heck's a plinth? This is our plinth, P-L-I-N-T-H, plinth, and it's just a place for people to sit. Honestly, we actually use it a lot. Like, we sit there and have coffee, and anyway, it's this natural honeycomb stone we have. And as you can see, we have checkered cushions here. I feel like it makes that space fun and quirky, and I love Fox's artwork up on that wall. That is my favorite kind of artwork, like colorful and abstract, and like I actually love it there, so I feel like the cushions complement that space. I'm just gonna show you here how different cushions and different textures and different colors can really transform that space. Am I making a statement here? Do I just want it to be neutral and calming and a relaxing space to have coffee? I mean, yes, I do, but I want it to be a moment. Again, circle back. What do you want to feel when you enter your space? Does your styling pieces, or do your styling pieces reflect that? Tip number 4 is mix and match. If you are thinking about redoing your house or you're about to make a purchase, I personally like mixing and matching. So I like having maybe like a timber side table with a concrete bed or a boucle chair next to a fluffy chair. As you can see, we have a lot of different pieces in our home and we don't have anything that matches. So for instance, my chairs downstairs, they work together because they're similar tones. They're both that same warm, summery, desert temperature. They're both leather, but they're completely different. I really didn't want my dining chairs to be an exact replica of our bar stool chairs. I just feel like with every furniture purchase, it's an opportunity to either make a statement or add something new or add something fresh to the space. Like if you've already got woven wicker chairs, do something different. So in my opinion, these chairs really match each other, they complement each other, but they're not the same. Tip number 5 is elevate and define with trays. We have maybe like 6 trays in our house, like they're all in different rooms. I want to think of a better saying than I'm a for a good tray. I just love a good tray moment. Now there is an algorithm, I suppose, to setting up the perfect tray. First of all, it's addressing how big is your tray, which is going to determine what you put on top of the tray. So it's just matching the object size, like the item sizes, to your tray. Don't do anything symmetrical because it looks too purposeful, and make sure it's what you love. Like again, with all of these tips, if you hate all of this, fine. I love when people have their own design aesthetic and their own design rules. There is no rules in design, I believe. Do something that makes you inspired, and when you walk into the room, you're happy. So this is, take everything with a grain of salt, right? So I like to group things in 3s, and I don't really like to repeat items. Trays don't have to make sense. A lot of my trays are just there for aesthetics. Like this one doesn't really make sense. It's not very practical, but don't have 2 candles or like 2 lip balms. Have like 1 lip balm, a perfume, and a candle, or 1 tray of jewelry, a body oil, miscellaneous. Just try to have different kind of things, 1 of each item, and cluster in 3s and play with levels. Speaking of levels, onto tip number 6, it is play with levels. Now this is one thing I did in my, what's it called? My island bench, which by the way, people said I would regret doing our kitchen island that big. I love it. Yes, it does get a little bit messy because when you come home from work or whatever, like you just dump stuff on there. So it does become a bit of a dumping ground, but it is so practical. Anyway, levels. All of my bowls at one point were the same level, and I was like, this just looks messy and clustered, but I want to have a lot of fruit, a lot of food on this space. So this is when I play with levels. I found this fruit bowl that is elevated and a little bit higher than the other major fruit bowl, and it just looks a lot more purposeful, it looks a lot more styled, and it elevates the space. The same goes for candles and books and just areas in your home that you have like a cluster of objects, like next to the TV or on a table. If you are going to cluster those objects, just like the trays, have different levels going on. If you feel like it looks awkward, maybe it's because everything's the same level, so just mix it up. Tip number 7 is mix up your textures. This is very complementary to tip number 4, which was mix and match, but I'm a huge fan of mixing textures, especially if your home is fresh and neutral, so like whites and beiges and creams. That is when you want to mix your textures. So we have nearly every texture under the sun. We've got Venetian plaster on our wall, which is like, it's a plain warm white wall, but it's plastered, so when the light hits it, it looks like really rustic and like a rock kind of thing. We have white boucle, we have this lamb's wool chair, I love this. We have linen, travertine, we have a bunch of different stones in our home, especially if you are just going for one kind of color palette of that neutral tone. It really does elevate your space and make everything look more expensive and luxe and unique. Actually, a good example of mixing textures is in our kitchen. So I really wanted an all white kitchen, which yes, it sounds really boring when someone says like all white, it's like, do something different, I get it. But I didn't want it to look just like a white kitchen. So instead of playing with color, I played with texture. So we ended up doing these kind of woven wicker timber doors and painting them the same white color as the poly white. So it's all this seamless, vivid white color, but it still has texture, and it just adds that little unique flair and just something a little bit different. Tip number 8 is super short and sweet. It's mirrors speak volume. I personally feel like the mirrors used in your home make such a huge impact in what your home is saying. Are you like a boho home? Are you a cool city apartment? Are you quirky and fun? Like, especially now, there are so many different mirror shapes you can use, and even the material on the outside. Like, I love the mirror in our office. It's like this weird blob, and the outside is black metal, so it kind of has that boss masculine feel while being creative. Whereas in our home, we have a lot more timber feels. I have a lot of arches, as you can see here, because I love Moroccan and Spanish houses, but I didn't want to go full Spanish for this house because number one, it would have been so expensive to change all the doors to like arches and things like that. And I just wanted to kind of incorporate different shapes. I decided to keep everything kind of squared off in the house except mirrors. So a lot of our mirrors are arches. Number 9, you're gonna love or hate, but it's pothos plants. Basically plants that fall. If you are styling a bookshelf, let's just say a bookshelf for now, and it's looking boring and it just looks too purposeful and like you've tried to style it, I recommend going out and getting any kind of pothos plant, like a falling vine. Number 1, they are so easy to keep alive and maintain, and they just add that sense of life. I personally love it. We have 2 in the kitchen, 1 upstairs in our rumpus movie room. It's just that nice hit of nature. Even the green, the pop of green, I feel like suits pretty much all houses, whether you're a cool toned house, a warm toned house. I just think greenery in a home, real greenery, I'm not a huge fan of fake. I'm not a fan of fake. It elevates the space. Do you know what? I feel like plants in a home make people feel comfortable. Like when I think about it, if I walk into someone's home and they have like a real peace lily and like some falling vines, I'm like, oh, it's just nice. It's just nice. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous for this next tip because it's gonna ruffle. It's gonna ruffle the lamb's wool. It's gonna ruffle the feathers. This is personal, okay? I think excessive cushions are out. Let's talk about a couch. If you have 2 layers of cushions on your couch, I just feel like it's out. Again, I'm all for your authentic style. If you love lots of cushions, do that. Please do that, because there's nothing more boss than owning your own style. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. But for me, if you are like, I don't know what to do and like, I don't like my house, I think excessive cushioning is out. I would prefer 2 statement cushions that speak your language, that speak your design style. If I see someone's couch and there's all these beautifully placed cushions and there's like rows and rows and rows of cushions, I'm like, I don't want to sit on that. That's scary. I think we're done. I think we're done with heaps of cushions. Like, I personally don't like our bed. I like the striped pillows, as you can see here, but I'm going to revamp my bedroom a little bit. I'm gonna get some more statement cushions because I don't want the white. I don't want the white on white. I hate that now. Maybe it's just a personal thing because I did it and I'm over it, but I think get rid of some of your cushions and make it purposeful. Relax on the cushions a little bit. That's just me. Honestly, I'm like sad this is over. I could sit and chat about this all day. Like if you want another 10 tips, I have them. I culled this. I had like 20 tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I briefly talked on my Instagram about the new, it's not really a new direction of my YouTube channel. It's kind of a full circle. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. What the heck? And I still have Lord Farquaad hair. When I first started YouTube, all of my videos had a purpose, right? Like I was trying to inspire you, motivate you, help you learn something. There was just an intent to every piece of content I made. Then you guys really liked my vlogs, so I just started vlogging everything. Last year, I just got kind of burnt out from vlogs, honestly. I love these kind of videos, and I think you can sense that. You can sense how passionate I am sharing tips and ideas and covering a multitude of different topics, whether it's like wellness, health, fitness, motherhood, styling. I love these kind of videos. If you did enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up because it really does support my channel, and make sure you subscribe because a lot more videos like this will be coming your way. And I'm just really excited and motivated for 2023 and what my YouTube video is gonna bring you. That's lame.
Hey, how you going?
Good, I'm just doing my outro.
Do I need to pick up anything? What are we doing for dinner?
Nah, I'll smash it out now.
Icing sugar or not?
Icing sugar, yes please. On that note, I need to go and finish off my rainbow cupcakes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up because it really does support my channel. And make sure you subscribe because there are lots of fun videos coming your way this year. And I shouldn't have said and because I have nothing else to add. Bye!
I am Lord Farquaad.